I'm running this brief testimony to you, Mr. Holman, about your company, Father's Time, and your product, A-Game. I first want to commend you for creating such a great herbal formula. I felt as if I was on a downward course. First, I suffered from high blood pressure and high cholesterol, and then diabetes. Not to mention my lack of enthusiasm and sexual drive. But thanks to A-Game, those diseases are part of my past. I am a new man. Something told me to keep going. I've taken A-Game for several months now, and it has had a positive, dramatic impact on my life. I have vitality again. I feel invincible, powerful, and focused, and my numbers have reversed to the joy of my family and doctor. As far as my bedroom goes, I've tried the popular pills once or twice, mainly out of desperation. Personally, I don't like unnatural synthetic stuff in my body. Oftentimes they didn't work, and reading about the side effects can be pretty scary. I don't know. They aren't sure if it will fix my problem, but ruin several other organs in the process, and they have no clue how it will affect me in the future. I need A-Game. It's all natural, and your unique blend is unlike anything else on the market. A-Game gives me the strength and energy to be at my best day in and day out. It just works. So thank you for supporting my journey. I can now tell others, never, never give up. Sincerely, one happy customer.
What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform. Much love. Salute to everybody that's in the building right now. Shout out to all of the visionaries out there. Shout out to all of the visionaries out there. Salute. Salute, salute, salute. Shout out to the A-Game Nation. Shout out to the A-Game family. We are back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm your host, DS1 Ross, man, and I appreciate all the love and the support. Shout out to Angie B in the building. Much love to you. Good afternoon, Angie B. Angie B, I returned and responded to your email, so check your email as soon as possible, and you'll see that I emailed you back. So I appreciate the love and the support, Angie B. Much love. Shout out to Bronze Dip in the building. Salute. Appreciate the support, Bronze Dip. It's me, C. What's going on? It's me, C. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to Queen of C in the building. Shout out to Queen of C. Much love. Shout out to my man Third Ward in the building. Shout out to Third Ward. Salute, family. Shout out to my brother, the Book of Ronan. A-Game Nation in the building. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Shout out to the Crimson Cure on the check-in. The A-Game family is in here. Salute. Thanks for tuning in, love. Appreciate it. Oh, no problem. No problem, Angie B. D Remedy, salute. Shout out to D Remedy. Shout out to Ebo, man. I appreciate you for kicking it off. He said, I'd like to thank the A-Game family and the creators of A-Game. You have no idea how this product has helped me, especially in the area of mental clarity. Talk to you later, DS1. Man, I appreciate that, big bro. Much love. Shout out to Ebo, man. Shout out to Ebo. And there y'all go. As y'all can see, there's an A-Game testimony, man. A-Game testimony for mental clarity. And that's true. Because definitely getting on this A-Game lifestyle is why you get the content that you get from the A-Game Nation every day. The content that you get from me, the content that you get from the Crimson Cure, the content that you get from the Bishop, the content that you get from my brother, the Book of Ronan, the content that you even get from my brother, Ebo Sosa, the content that you get from Young Manhood. All of this comes from being on this A-game lifestyle, man. So definitely, Ebo. Shout out to Queen of C. She said, bring in another one. 100. Salute. Shout out for the double up. She said, bring in another one. Salute. Oh yeah, we gonna cook today. We gonna cook today. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate the super chats. Much love to everybody that's in here. Shout out to all the visionaries. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all share this show. Make sure y'all share this show. Share it on your community tab, your Discord service. Make sure y'all share the show. But before we get into the show, make sure y'all check my community tab and make sure y'all go check out the interview that I had over there on Mr. 1950. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to my brother, Mr. 1950. We had an awesome conversation yesterday. Dope interview. Great questions. You know, we were speaking on the state of manhood. So make sure y'all go over there to my brother, Mr. 1950's platform and check out that interview that I did last night over there. Make sure y'all go and check that out. It's called The State of Manhood. If any of my visionaries that's here that has a wrench, can y'all please post the link for that show that I did last night over there on Mr. 1950? That'll be very much appreciated. If one of my visionaries can do that, just go over there to Mr. 1950 platform and post a link to the interview that I did yesterday. And I appreciate the whole A-Game family and the whole A-Game nation for coming through, all of the visionaries that came through and supported me over there yesterday. I appreciate that. Much love to y'all for that, man. Much love to y'all for that. So on that note, we're going to get to the show. Once again, shout out to everybody, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the share button. Y'all see today's show. Today's show, The Walking Wounded. Not The Walking Dead. Not The Walking Dead. The Walking Wounded. The Walking Wounded. And when I speak on The Walking Wounded, I'm speaking on us brothers. Mainly our younger brothers. Because as y'all know, I premiered a video earlier where I was showing how the New York ceasefire program is now fully active in the New York City streets, and they starting to sweep the young brothers off the streets. And they just did a gang indictment for Wagner houses in Harlem. If anybody's from the city or y'all know, one of the projects in Harlem is Wagner houses. And they had their own little, gang going on, and they were doing a lot of things, and they got indicted. And the police came and they raided, and they locked about altogether 14 of them. They already caught 9 of them, and they caught the rest of them. And one thing that I pointed out in the video, and this is what drew me to this conversation that I want to have today with you guys. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button and make sure y'all share the show. I appreciate that, Ebo. I appreciate that. What I noticed that police sergeant or whoever he was in the video, and the reporter asked him, how could this violence stop? What do we have to do, or what has to happen for the violence to stop? And he said, if these boys are able to find outlets, maybe if they can find a job, these boys come from broken families. He said these boys come from broken families. So, with that being said, he understands to some extent why these young men are doing what they're doing. They have no outlets. They don't have jobs. They come from broken families and broken homes. So we have to understand that when we're dealing with our younger brothers, we're dealing with the walking wounded, not the walking dead. They're not zombies. They're not. They're fully aware of what they're doing. They're fully aware. They just don't care. Because something else that police guy said was, he said that those guys don't value anything. And this is what happens when a young brother or any young man who's growing up in the projects. Now, let's speak on the dwelling of these young men. Now, when we speak on dwelling, we are speaking on what? An internal life value. It is the fifth life value of the 10 life value system. So these guys' conditions in which they live in is terrible. Anybody living in Wagner houses, that they're not living too well. There's rats all in the projects. The living conditions is horrible. So when you add poor dwelling, right, with a broken family, you wonder why their behavior, their mental health, their mental state, you wonder why their behavior is the way it is. See, their behavior, their mental state stems from the fact that they come from poor living conditions and the fact that their family is messed up. That'll mess with any child's mind. That'll mess with any child's mind. And this is why spiritually they're on demon time. Because they're the walking wounded. Why? Because they're internally broken. See, remember what I always say here. The internal 5 values of the 10 life value success system is where a man is made and where a man is broken. A man is made in the internal five, and he's destroyed here also. And we have to understand that our younger brothers are destroyed internally. This is why they don't care about their education. See, this is why I love the 10 life value system, because the way Dr. Holman constructed it, he constructed it in a way where men are supposed to go to be successful. So when you use the 10 life value system and you assess these conditions of these young men, you can say, well, okay, he got mental health issues because he come from a broken family. He live in the projects. Everybody look at him as a piece of crap. His appearance is shy. He don't know who he is because he grew up without a father. So he don't have no SOS. So he don't even know who he is. So he's internally destroyed. So it's going to be a process trying to push these young brothers back into school, which is an external value. It's going to be hard to convince him to get out the streets and go to school. What do we need school for? What do I need to learn anything for? I'm on demon time. All I need to learn how to do is not get caught by the cops or get caught by the ops. I don't need to know school. School. When I used to come home and ask my mother to help me with my homework, she used to tell me to get out her face. I'm not going to school. You see? See, we have to understand, and I went into this a little bit on the Brother Mr. 1950 show last night. We got to understand where to start at with these men. And we have to understand why they ganging, why they doing what they doing. And it's because they have no internal value. And they don't see the importance of having internal value. Their value is external. Their value is totally external. That's why they focus on the external values. Mobility, which is them moving around, defending themselves. This is what they focus on. Money, wealth, leisure, going on vacations. They don't care about their education, and their profession is crime. Just in case y'all didn't know, because you got a lot of people here that'll tell you that crime isn't a profession. Crime is a profession. It's one of the top professions of the world. You understand? That's why prisons is one of the more popular businesses of wealthy people. They invest in prisons because crime is one of the biggest professions. So don't let nobody tell you that crime is not a job. Criminals, that's a job. What they do, it's a job. Trust me. It's a job. It's a profession. To professionally clean people windows for a living, that's a job. If you catch my drift. You understand? So we have to understand why they don't want to go back to school. Because they don't have any internal value. So you can't push the external stuff on them when they're internally broken. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. No matter how much you try to convince them, that this is the best thing for you. Yes, logically it is. It is. But you have to address the wounds. You see, we have to address the wounds. Because these young men are the walking wounded. That's what they are. That's what you see. That's what you hear in their music. That's how they express themselves. That's why you see all the tattoos. You wonder why they got all the ink on their body? It's because they've become numb to pain. See, y'all have to understand this stuff goes deeper than what y'all think. But y'all are visionaries, so y'all understand. But why do you think they got all that ink on their body? You think they went and got tatted up so they don't go get a job? Oh, he just went and got a bunch of tattoos because he don't want to work for nobody. Shut up. You don't understand nothing. You're somebody that don't need to be talking to the youth because you don't get it. They're going to tune you out in about 5 seconds as soon as you open your mouth because you don't know. You're out of touch. That's why they got the ink on their body all over it, because they've become numb to pain. Why? Because they've been experiencing pain since they were children. That's why. They know how it is to be abandoned at 3 years old because their mama left them in a house to go make money. You see? This is why him and his mother's relationship is more like a brother and sister instead of mother and son. Because she'd rather have that relationship with her son because she never had a relationship with her father. You see? We have to understand the wounds in order to properly diagnose the right medicine for healing. But if we just sitting around here thinking, oh man, these men just doing whatever. No. They're not doing whatever. We're dealing with the walking wounded. We're dealing with men who are coming from broken homes, broken families, abusive families, families with addictions. See, you have to understand these traumas that are passed down through families and how for generations they go after a long period of time, it go undiscovered after a while. And it begins to work on autopilot. And nobody can ever say, well, man, what is going on here? What is going on here? And see, every family needs those type of men. See, those type of men are still around, but those guys are not popular. Those are not the popular guys. Because we're doing the unpopular work. You see? See, we're doing the stuff that people don't want other people to see. You know, a lot of brothers don't like to see other brothers see them cry. They wouldn't want to bear all of their things around other brothers. They go and they entrust in one or two other brothers. You see? And see, we have to begin here in this space to provide, and this is what I provide here on my channel. You know, other brothers could do what they want to do. But here, I'm providing a safe space where brothers could come and be themselves. And if they got to shed a tear too, it's cool. You won't be judged. Because we have to address the wounds. Because all of the wounds are going to get in the way of all of the other things that we're trying to do. That's why everything, you have to get up and work toward it all. I'm not just saying focus on your wounds and don't focus on your future. No, you got to work on it all. But understand, once you address those issues, the other things will get better. And you'll see that when you begin to work through things, you'll begin to see things will begin to come to you. You'll be able to work through things a lot easier. Things will start coming to you a lot quicker. It's because you don't have that spiritual blockage. You don't have those traumas, producing fear all the time, producing doubt all the time. Because you're working through those things, but you have to address them. You can't think, well, I'm going to just go to work and these things are not going to be there anymore. I'm going to just pay my bills through my whole life and I'm going to just be happy. No, that's a life of misery. And see, the 10 life value system is to help us become the best versions of ourselves that we want to be. So it has nothing to do with what the world think you're supposed to be or what anybody else think you're supposed to be. Because that's rented validation. And all rented validation does is reopen the wounds. Let me repeat that. All rented validation does is reopen the wound. That's what it does. The things that you trying to hide from everyone, that you trying to make everybody think is not a problem for you, chasing that rented validation, it's going to expose all of that. And this is what's being exposed with these young brothers in these inner city neighborhoods doing what they doing in the streets. When you start listening to the story, you find out this boy ain't got nothing to eat in his house. You come to find out this boy lived by himself. He 14. He live in the projects by himself. He don't know where his mother at. He don't know where his mother at. And you expect him to walk around here functional? Nah, we can't expect that. Should we expect him to run around and do the things that we doing? No, sir. No, sir. But we have to understand, well, what may have caused him to do this? Maybe he's robbing because he hungry. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about that? That's why him and his homies be robbing people. They hungry. See, because a lot of us don't understand how tragic a lot of these young boys' story be. See, I understand because I done sat down with a lot of young brothers. I just had to sit down with one of my younger cousins. If y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all could check my story and y'all see some of the bits and pieces of it. But I'm getting ready to share the conversation that we had. But y'all have to understand that there's a story behind these young brothers, man, and why they operate in the way they are. Those brothers are wounded, man. A lot of tragic things happen to them. A lot of them young brothers are being molested or have been molested by women and men in their family. A lot of these guys, a lot of these young dudes was just abused by their mothers, just beat on and sexually abused by their mothers. These are the young men that's running around on demon time. There's a lot of incest going on with these young men. They growing up having babies with their first cousins. These are facts. These are facts. And you wonder why these young men got mental health issues. He had a baby by his first cousin. He grew up having sex with his cousins. He grew up getting molested by his cousin, who he having sex with now. He was getting molested by her mother. R. Kelly somebody? R. Kelly? Hassan Campbell? The Walking Wounded. The Walking Wounded. And you wonder why you find out what you found out about R. Kelly and what was going on. You wonder why Hassan Campbell was on YouTube doing all the stuff he was doing. That man is wounded. Man, that dude done been through some stuff nobody would ever want to go through. And we not talking about when he got older. We talking about when he was a kid. We talking about when he was a kid. And see, what happens to us young brothers on that side of the fence is really swept under the rug. It's really swept under the rug. This is why you had at a small time and a moment, you had guys trying to promote this Men Too stuff. And you had Terry Crews come out saying how he was being, sexually abused by his bosses. Now, I'm pretty sure if he just allowing this man to do this to him, something happened to him when he was younger. For him to even allow that energy to take over as a grown man. He was vulnerable like that as a child. And he never got over it. That's why he was allowing it to happen as a grown man. Because I had to think about it. I'm like, yo, this dude is big and buff, and he a grown man. He looked like he'll probably, why did he allow that? And then I had to think about it. I said, wow. He allowed it because when those guys approached him in that way, it took him back to that place. It reopened that wound that was never healed. See, a lot of y'all like putting band-aids over stuff. That's why y'all go out and chase the bag. Y'all go out and try to be dripped out. You go out and try to have the baddest arm piece, even though we know you're paid for. Because you're putting band-aids over open wounds until you're faced with a situation that's going to rip the band-aid off. That's what happened with Terry Crews. And that's why he let those men do that to him. It wasn't just because of the money. Because remember, there's a connection from spiritual value and wealth value. There's a direct connection. This is why he was able to sacrifice his spirituality, his masculinity, his manhood for a check. That shows the connection right there. But we have to understand that there's a lot of us brothers, man, walking around wounded in this way. And a lot of them are those same young brothers running around on gang time. They run out in the streets because they're running away from home. They're running away from the demons in their home. They are. They're not just running away because they want to follow their friends. No, they're all not like that. And then the ones who are running and following their friends, because some of them even have a reason why. Some of them even have a reason why. But how do we get through to them to find out? How do we do that? We first have to know that this is going on. That's the first thing. We have to know that it's going on. We got to talk to them. We got to ask them questions. And we have to provide them with a safe space for them to feel comfortable. We can't just be like, oh, okay, well, you just do this. No, you can't work with people. Everyone, you have to work with everyone differently. You have to work with everyone differently. Because even people with the same wounds, they got them differently. They interpret them differently. So you can't diagnose every person with the same problem the same way. You might have to give him some more milligrams or something. You might have to give him less milligrams of something. But we first have to understand that the wounds are there. We can't chalk it up to some social stereotype that is used for a lot of men. Oh, he just hard-headed. Oh, he just this. Oh, he just that. Looks like you're not cut out for the job when you're speaking like that. And this is why the youth rather stay wounded and they rather stay high to numb the wounds. Because there's not enough people, men, that's going to say, come on, little homie, let's chop it up. I don't want nothing from you. I'm not trying to make you into nothing. I'm here to provide agency. I just want to hear you out. And talk to them. This is what I do. This is what I do with my little bros. This is what I did when they were younger. They ain't had no money to do whatever they wanted to do. I come through, yo, what's good, y'all? Chill with them for a little while. See that they not doing what they like to do. Yo, what's up? Y'all don't got what y'all need? All right, come on. I'm going to go get some and we going to chill. We go and chill, you know. After that, next thing you know, now we building. Now we having an in-depth conversation. Now we going to address some of these wounds. You see? Because you have to understand that they're the walking wounded. They're not the walking dead. They're not dead. They're wounded. They're wounded soldiers. And a lot of them are unwarranted soldiers because a lot of them were forced out there. They don't want to do what they're doing, but they got to survive, right? This is why I say we're our own agency. Because a lot of their mothers don't care about them. A lot of their mothers don't care. Their mothers been throwing a towel. Long time ago. Father dead or he in jail. Because his profession was crime. See, we got to understand that the youth that we see today that's running around doing what they're doing, they're the offspring of the generation of women that I grew up with and the generation after who was on drugs. What was that drug? The drug of the 2000s. Ecstasy. Molly. A lot of these young boys are Molly babies. They ecstasy kids. You wonder why some of them look weird and deformed and all of that? A lot of them are born with learning disabilities automatically. Ecstasy babies. Their mothers was on ecstasy. That was the narcotic of my time in the 2000s when we was teenagers and growing up. It was ecstasy and Molly. It started with the pill, which was ecstasy. Then they just start selling MDMA straight out. These children now, that's 18, 19, that's their sons. That's their sons. The girls who will pop a Molly and start sweating and wake up and don't know where she at and end up pregnant. Those are her sons. That's on demon time. That's spinning the block. Those are her sons. We got to understand what we dealing with, brothers, and the severity of it. We have to consider certain things, man. A lot of times when we speaking on things, we miss certain key factors. And what that does is it shows the lack of our understanding of what we're dealing with, especially when it comes to our youth. They are the walking wounded. They need our help, brothers. They need our agency. They need this. They need to get on the A-game lifestyle. So it could start working and giving them some of that mental clarity that our brother Ebo Sosa spoke about earlier in the show in his super chat. That mental clarity that it grants him. A lot of young brothers don't have that. They don't have it because they stressed. They wake up every day, they go look in their refrigerator, ain't nothing to eat. Then they got little brothers and little sisters so they already have a bunch of things weighing on their mind. You wonder why they depressed? You see? So, brothers, we have to heal before we build. We have to heal before we build. And we have to understand that that is what's going to save our youth, man. Letting them know that that is what they have to do first. Letting them know that they have to address their internal values first. They have to address their internal values first before they address why they not going to school, why they broke, why they don't look a certain way. They need to address their internal issues, the internal strife, the turmoil, the spiritual affliction that plague their minds and their bodies because of their poor dwelling, because of their abusive and addictive family. So when you see that young man with that mask on, don't be so quick to judge him, man. Because a lot of these young dudes, they really don't want to hurt nobody, but they don't want you to hurt them. You see? They don't want you to hurt them. So a lot of them appear to be aggressive, appear like they're going to hurt someone because they're afraid of being hurt. It's a defense mechanism. I'm into reptiles. I like lizards. I like snakes and stuff. There's a lizard called a frail. And what frails do is when they get threatened, they open up their mouth and their glands from their neck swell up so much that it make them look like a dragon. And it's supposed to scare you, like, ah, type of thing, right? Cool animal. I love that animal, by the way. But it's a defense mechanism. That's what it is. It's a defense mechanism. Because they don't walk around with those things out like that. They only do it when they feel threatened. So this is why you see the young dudes with the mask on, and and every video is, they dangling the gun, and it's because they don't want to be hurt. They tired of being hurt. They tired of being beat on and kicked and spit on and all of that. They're wounded, man. They're wounded, brothers. They're wounded. Now, are some of them just outright nutty? Yes. Yes. But still, you have to understand at the end of the day what their issue is. And the issue is, man, they need healing. They need healing, man. They need that. They need that brotherly love, that love that comes from a man that say, yo, I understand what you're going through, man. I understand what you're going through. And I'm going to help you. That's what they need. Because if they don't get that, or if they see any little slight of anything outside of that, don't be surprised if you totally lose them to something else, like the streets. So, brothers, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to the A-Game Nation. Shout out to the A-Game family. Shout out to all of the visionaries out there, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all share the show. Make sure y'all share the show. Let me read some of y'all comments, man. Shout out to Big Neff TV. Shout out to Big Neff in the building. Clips Reloaded. Welcome. What animal was that he mentioned? A frail. It's called the frail. Clips Reloaded. It's Me C says, my aunt began to tell me who people were and the history through the family. Dad killed mom, abuse, molestation, pimping. I realized his life was all a cry of pain, heartbreaking. I thought he had it all. Wow. That's deep. That's deep, is Me C. I'm glad you shared that. I appreciate you, for being so candid like that, man. That's deep. That's deep. And I'm still on that quest for trying to unlock those family traumas and secrets of mine too. C. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing, man, because that's powerful. When you realize something like that, man, that's interesting. No doubt. Clips Reloaded. Pastor $40. Salute, man. Salute. Kane the God. Peace to the God. Peace to the God. I'm going to hit your line too, Kane. I got your email. God. I'm going to hit you up, bro. I didn't forget about you, man. Shout out to Sir O in the building. Wow, Angie B. You said same here? Wow. Wow. You trying to do the same thing, right? You trying to, unlock those treasure chests. And it's going to be a lot harder for me now, guys, because, you know, in March, I lost my grandmother, which was my mother's mother. So a lot of things that I never knew about my mom's side of the family, I'm really not going to know now because my grandmother is gone. And she was the only girl and had all brothers. And only 2 of her brothers is left alive. So, and they don't really rock with us like that. So it's going to be hard to find out the in-depth story. I got a lot more understanding of who my grandmother was at her funeral when they read some of her story, which was mind-blowing, by the way. Queen of C says, say sheep, you need to get an Amazon wish list. I got you, mamas. I'm going to put it together. I got you. I'm going to do that. Oh, I appreciate that, y'all. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. My mom's side equals dark, dad's side equals light. Beef for decades. Wow. Yep. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about with that too. So yeah, man, you know, with these things that we're plagued with, because we all are plagued with these issues, because these are generational traumas. Because if they never were resolved, if they never were healed, they're going to be passed down. How are they going to be passed down? Through our behaviors. Through our behaviors, which is what? Our culture. And why is our culture like this? Because we lost the value of ourselves, which is why we went from the pyramids to the goddamn projects. That's why we went from the pyramids to the projects. Now, what is this process I just broke down before we ended today's show? I just broke down the concept of biocothyron. How did we go from the pyramids to the projects, family? How did we do that? Through the process of biocothyron. Because our value system changed. So it changed the way we what? The way we think and the way we feel, which is going to in turn change what we do, our practices, our behaviors, which is our culture. And we pass down our culture, our ways and actions, and we display those things in our environment, which now they built projects for us because they say they practice in our value system. So they need to be in an environment that look like a goddamn prison. Because what is jail for? Jail is to house what? Wounded and broken individuals. We're going to get wealthy off of your lack of spirituality. Oh, so y'all want to be on demon time? Okay, we're going to hike up the laws, environment. We're going to create the New York City ceasefire program. Since y'all want to be on demon time and throw you in jail, with the rest of your broken and wounded individuals. So I appreciate y'all for tuning into today's show. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If y'all haven't yet, share the show. If you enjoyed today's show, Cash App $SheepStaySleepTV is where you can go. Cash App $SheepStaySleepTV is where y'all can go. Make sure y'all subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I drop some new content right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. If you haven't yet, salute to all of the visionaries out there. Salute to all of the visionaries that stopped through. Shout out to the whole A-Game family, the whole A-Game nation. We are here, man, and we here to stay. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Much love. Appreciate that, Bucket. Shout out to Bucket, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And remember, brothers, we got to heal before we build. We have to heal before we build. Why? Because we are our own agency. We are our own agency. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Auditioning. Thug number one, thug number two.
For slaves,
Prostitute.
There's always the hustle.
literate basketball players.
Mary had a little lamb. The foul.
The only narrative that they understand of black life is drug addict, drug dealer, gang member.
I was the hottest black actor in the world after Boys and I. There were people clamoring to work with this young sensation as long as he did the roles they wanted him to do, which were street kids.
I had been in this thing that is a masterpiece of American cinema, and nobody gave a shit. They really didn't give a fuck.
I auditioned for my first pimp part. My mother's all proud. You know, be the best pimp you can be. The whole church is praying for me.
Let's pray that Brother Robert gets the role of Silky Good Dick. The film is called Holes on the Stroll. It sounds like a musical.
And then that's when the filmmaker was born. I said, man, we can't let Hollywood tell our stories. We have to tell our own stories. They'll make us do anything and everything. And these images travel around the world.
They had a perception of us that ultimately is false.
This show is sponsored, and this channel is sponsored by A-Game, a male herbal solution. A male herbal solution. Fellas, get down in the description box and join this A-Game lifestyle. This is a lifestyle promoting optimal health for us men. It's a lifestyle that promotes optimal health for us men. It is for our energy. It is for our vitality. It is for our strength. And it is for our libido. Fellas, join this A-Game lifestyle simply by clicking the link in the description box. And at your checkout, type in the promo code SHEEP and the number 10. That's SHEEP and the number 10. Get a discount off on your purchase.